One point with Arnold Gamboa.
Oi, good evening, 1 Point fam. And thank you for joining me tonight. And I'm so grateful that in the middle of or towards the end of a very busy week, you are with me this evening. And I'd like to welcome every one of you that has logged on now. Si Ate Ruth Tabate, always with us today. And thank you for joining me today. If you are joining me today and you are logged on, I see a few people on our stream right now. You can just type on your name onto our stream chat, chat box so that I'll know, para alam ko na nandyan kayo sa amin ngayon, and I'll be able to give you a shout out later on. Thank you again for joining me here at 1 Point Saturday, and this is a live broadcast. We normally do a live broadcast here at YouTube every Saturday at 7 o'clock in the evening. And the purpose of 1 Point is to provide faith, hope, and love. You know, we want every one of us to discover our faith. Maybe for some of you, maybe you haven't really explored about your faith. You haven't really asked about your faith in the past. And maybe you are asking now and you don't know where to find answers or solutions, or maybe you're questioning your faith. My hope is that I can provide you with some insights about your faith. I also would like to, hopefully by God's grace, be able to provide hope. And hope is something that's lacking nowadays, not just in social media, but in our everyday life. Parang ang hirap makahanap ng pag-asa sa mga panahon ngayon. And today, and every Saturday night, my hope is that we can provide that part of the equation. We want to give hope to people. We want to give hope to you. So thank you for joining me. And of course, lastly, I want to provide the understanding of God's love to every one of us. And God's love is something that we can experience. And it's just a matter of understanding and hearing it. And when we do that, we'll be able to understand God's love together as a community. So 1 Point fam, thank you for joining me today. My hope is that we are, for the next 30-40 minutes, we're going to be enjoying each other's company. We are going to understand and provide faith, hope, and love for every one of us who are joining today. Let me give a quick shout out doon sa mga nakalag on ngayon. Sama kayo sa conversation natin ha. Kung meron kaming tanong, you can join me. You can have an answer to these questions na gagawin natin. Si Ate Ruth kanina, sinabi ko nandito ngayon. Si Auntie Ebong. This is always a family affair. So thank you, Auntie Ebong, for joining me. Si Ate Oli from, I think, sa Ilocos area, di ba? Si Narito ka pala sa Oliver, sa Manila. Kala ko yung mami mo. Yes, thank you for joining me today. And of course, my wife Joy is here also with us today. So thank you for joining me. If you are logged on, if you are joining us this evening, just say hi, and we are going to have a good conversation today. All right. So may sabi si Antebo, maganda raw yung cactus. Explain ko mamaya kung saan galing yung cactus na yan. Explain ko mamaya. Don't worry. All right. So thank you again for joining me today and tonight. And my hope is that you are going to be blessed by our conversation this evening.
1 point with Arnold Gamboa.
Natatandaan nyo ba yung ating 1,000 Road to 1,000 challenge? Yung Road to 1,000 challenge natin, nasa 858 na tayo. So last week, naka-gain tayo ng subscribers. For those of you who are always joining me dito sa road to 1,000 natin, this is just an imaginary number. We're not here to monetize this channel. Again, I mentioned this previously. My plan is not to monetize this channel. I don't want to gain anything from this other than being able to share this message of faith, hope, and love to as many people as possible. The goal, itong YouTube channel kasi, YouTube algorithm ang ginagamit niya. It's not just it's not like Facebook where you gain followers by sharing the post. Dito sa YouTube, what you do is to like and subscribe. Kaya nakikita niyo sa mga YouTubers, sinasabi na you always like and subscribe. May reason dyan. Kasi whenever you like and subscribe the video, the YouTube algorithm will push the video out to as many people as possible. That's our goal. And that's why I want to reach 1,000 subscribers now, so that whenever we have a broadcast like this, or whenever I publish a video, I will be able to have those videos be pushed to as many subscribers as possible. And when we do that, the goal eventually is to spread the message of hope to everyone, as many people as possible. So, you will be part of this journey. Again, sinasabi ko naman sa inyo palagi na part kayo ng journey. So, ang gawin nyo lang ngayon, sa inyo ngayon na nakalag on dito, or if you are viewing this on the broadcast, on the replay, what I'm going to be asking from you now is to like this video. Like nyo na, click the like button, or if you have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button na rin. Para whenever we have a new video, you'll be able to be alerted by the new videos. And then when you like it, there's a greater chance of this video being pushed to as many people as possible. So thank you. Again, sabi ko nga dati, pag na-reach natin yung 1,000, we're going to celebrate this, and we are going to be raffling away 1,000 pesos worth of Lazada gift certificate. Ayos ba yun? Ayos ba yun? Sa mga madalas na kasama natin every Saturday, you'll be part of the raffle. Just for fun. Wala naman masyadong yung 1,000 pesos na just for fun lang. It's not really that valuable. And we're going to probably split that into two para dalawa yung manalo. Pero we just would like you to appreciate you for liking and sharing the video and asking your friends to join us every Saturday at 7 o'clock. So, thank you guys for joining me today. Sino pa ba yung mga bago dyan? Kung meron ulit bago dyan na nakalagon, just send a quick message so that I can give you a shout out. Alright?
1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point with Arnold Gamboa.
Meron tayong pala ngayon, bago tayo sa main message natin ngayon, abangan nyo lang, meron ako mga guest ngayon, yung aking life group. Introduce ko sa inyo mamaya kung ano yung gagawin namin this afternoon, this evening. Kasi very special yung aming gagawing sharing this evening with my life group. I have a few friends with me tonight. So watch out for that, ha?
1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point with Arnold Gamboa.
What do you do? What or where can you get strength from? How are you going to beat your fear and your being tired? How can you rest? Where can you find rest for your souls and rest for your wearied body if you are so tired? For the past week, I think week and a half, we've been moving places from one place to another. We are moving our stuff to the old house to the new house. And for some of you who've done that in the past, you know how tiring it is. Diba? Napapansin nyo ba na bago yung aking set ngayon? Set ang tawag natin yan, YouTube set. Sabi ni Antebong yung ating cactus ngayon bago. Kasi bago yan. Hindi pa nga tapos. Nakakaproblema pa rin kami sa pagsisetup. And if you are going to check out our new home, you can see rubbles all around. And when you see the rubbles around, you can imagine the physical tiredness every single night that my wife and I, including my kids, are experiencing. In fact, I feel so tired ngayong gabing ito na I felt like I don't want to, do this broadcast and I just skip it. But this is a commitment. I want to commit myself to do this regularly and to be able to minister to you guys. And so, and that's the reason why we are here today. But I am so physically tired today because of the move that we've been doing for the past week and a half. Pero alam nyo, madali lang solusyonan ang pagiging pagod physically. Madali lang naman solusyonan yan eh. Ang solusyon lang dyan, you take a rest, physically, you sleep, 8 hours, 10 hours, dire-diretso, and you probably need to take some vitamins, you take care of your body, and you're going to be able to recuperate. That's how you beat being tired physically. The problem though is when you are tired and weary emotionally, relationally, or spiritually. Yun ang problema. Maybe you are emotionally tired today. Maybe you have a lot of problems that you're thinking about. Maybe you have fears. You know that there are a lot of things that are happening right now. COVID-19 is there. People are getting sick. People are dying. Your friends probably are dying. And you are afraid. And that's emotionally tiring. Maybe for some of you, you are relationally tired. You are relationally weary. You have some problems with your, you have some marital issues. You have some problem with your spouse. Or maybe you have some problems relationally with your kids. Or if you are a child, you have a problem relationally with your parents. Or maybe with your friends. Medyo meron kay best friend na nakaaway. You're relationally weary and tired. Ang hirap nun, ang bigat nun, di ba? Ang bigat nun. But maybe you're also, for some of you, you are spiritually tired. You've been running away from God for the longest time. Spiritually, you don't want to accept the call of God to come back home. Hindi mo tinatanggap yung bagay na yun. And so, again, physical tiredness is easy to fix. But if you are emotionally tired, if you are relationally tired, if you are spiritually weary, it's easier said than done. Ang hirap magpahinga. You wouldn't know how to and where to find rest for your souls if you are tired emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. Jesus offers some help. And I'd like to share with you tonight a verse from the Bible. This is one of the key verses that, this is some of the key verses that I would share to myself, preach to myself whenever something is going on in my life. And I hope that these verses will minister to you tonight if you are spiritually tired, if you're emotionally tired, if you are relationally tired, if there's a lot of things going on in your life, and if there are a lot of things that you feel like you cannot carry on your own. This verse is found in Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. I'll be reading from the New Century Version, and this is what Jesus Christ said. And this is an invitation by Jesus to not just for these people that he is talking to during his time here on earth, But this is also an invitation for all of us. This is what Jesus said. Sabi ni Jesus, "Come to me, all of you who are tired and have heavy loads. Come to me." Come. That's an invitation. Sabi niya, pumarito ka. Come. All of you who are tired. Kung ikaw ay pagod at may mabigat na dinadala, and if you have heavy loads, I will give you rest. Jesus is saying, you come to me. If you have problems in life, if you are emotionally tired, if there are a lot of things that are burdening you right now, maybe financially, maybe relationally, maybe spiritually. If you have some problems in life right now, the invitation that all of us have today from Jesus is that He said, I will give you rest. I will give you rest. Sabi pa niya sa verse 29, accept my teachings and learn from me, because I am gentle and humble in spirit, and you will find rest for your lives. Kasi alam nyo, karamihan sa atin, we look for guidance from everywhere else. We look for guidance from the media, and there's nothing wrong with watching the news every night. When you're tired, yun nga lang, when you're weary and tired and you watch the news every night, the problem is you're going to get more tired. Napansin niyo ba yon? Mas nahihirapan ka doon. But you know, if you are tired physically, emotionally, and spiritually, Jesus is saying you can find teachings from other people, from the news, from the media, from your best friends, even from your pastors, and that's fine. But Jesus is saying, you accept me first, accept my teachings, and learn from me. You learn from me. And when you do that, when you learn from Jesus Himself, because He is gentle and humble in spirit, you will find rest. Doon ka magkakaroon ng kapahingahan sa iyong buhay. When you learn from Jesus. Sabi dito, I am gentle and humble in spirit, and you will find rest for your lives. And lastly, He said, the burden that I ask you to accept is easy, and the load I give you is scary to carry is light. Because, you know, you will have to carry your load with Jesus Himself. Dalawa kayo na magdadala. Yun ang maganda eh. Hindi lang si Jesus, hindi lang ikaw ang magdadala. You will have God, you will have Jesus Himself to carry the load with you. And that's the important thing. Medyo, kapag madaling makita kapag kapagod ka physically. Because what you're going to do is simply take a rest. Diba? You lie down, you sleep for 8 hours, 10 hours, and that's all. After you wake up, when you wake up, you'll feel relaxed. That's how physical tiredness looks like. But how about when you're emotionally tired? When you have problems that come your way, how can you rest? How can you rest your mind? How can you rest your spirit? If you are running away from God, you're spiritually tired, how can you find rest? When you are relationally tired, if you feel like everyone is against you, if you feel like people are, if you have issues with different people in your life, how can your heart find rest when you don't know how? And that is Christ's invitation to you. If we let Jesus, if we ask Him to carry the loads with us, and we reply back, we respond to His call to go to Him, Jesus is saying, you're going to find rest today for yourself. Ito yung sinasabi ni Paul na the peace that pass all other everyone's understanding. Yung peace na hindi mo alam kung saan nanggagaling. Yung katiwasayan ng puso mo na alam mo matiwasay ang puso mo pero hindi mo alam bakit ganon matiwasay ang puso mo. hindi mo alam kung bakit. Yun ang tinatawag natin na peace that passes all understanding. And only Jesus can provide that peace for you. And so my prayer for all of us tonight, including myself, I'm physically tired right now. I'm going to sleep later on. But I'm also emotionally tired. I'm also spiritually tired kasi magkakasama yan. There are some problems out there. And just like you, nakakaproblema din ako. Marami din tayong nagiging problema sa buhay. And I can find rest for my soul when I say, you know what, Jesus, carry the load with me. You know what, Lord, I know that you are more wise, you're wiser, you are more powerful, and you know the future ahead of time, and I don't. And most especially, you know what's best for me. I'm going to lay my burden on you, and I will be carrying the load with you together. And when I do that, and when you do that, you will find rest for your soul. So my hope, my prayer is that together, lahat tayo, we'll all give our burdens to Jesus and Jesus alone. So that when we do that, we'll find rest for our souls.
1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point with Arnold Gamboa.
Sa ating mga kasama dito ngayon sa live stream natin, what do you normally do kapag you have problems in life? What do you normally do? Share with us, type nyo lang dyan. What do you normally, where do you normally go? And how do you normally provide or, share your burden to some of your friends, or maybe you share your burden to Jesus himself? How do you normally do that? Just let us know, and then I'm going to try to mention that your comments later on dito sa ating chat.
1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point with Arnold Gamboa.
Tonight, I'm going to have some very special guests with me tonight. No? The plan is for my life group. Alam niyo sa church namin, meron kasi kami tinatawag na life groups. And I have our life group, we call it Iron Men. And our Iron Men, because Iron Men, mga men's group namin to sa church, no? Men's group. And we normally have our life groups every Sundays or Wednesdays. And then one time I thought, you know what? We are having some wonderful discussions. Why don't we allow people to share, to see and hear our discussions once in a while? And by doing that, maybe they can also benefit from our discussions. And so I'm going to share with you. Ganito ang balak namin. Once a month, every Wednesday, one Wednesday a month, I'm going to, and not Saturday pero it's going to be Wednesday. Wednesday a month, I'm going to do a live stream Wednesday at 5 p.m. Wednesday at 5 p.m. sa hapon, I'm going to live stream our chat discussion with my life group, and so that you can participate. Ganun ang gagawin natin. Pero ngayong gabi, this is just going to be a preview. I'm going to bring in a few of my, hindi kompleto yung aming live group ngayong gabi, pero I'm going to bring a few of them so that you can know who they are, and then you can probably, see the dynamics of our discussion. And I'm going to be asking a couple of questions sa kanila para baka share sila ng thoughts nila para sa atin. Before I do that, sabi ni Auntie Ebong, what she normally do when she's burdened is she prays. And that's wonderful. Thank you, Auntie Ebong. Sa inyo din kasama kayo sa discussion na to, I'm going to be asking you later on sa dalawang question na tatanong kayo. So, but anyway, I'd like to introduce to you my friends from our life group, my life group Iron Man, Armin, Clark, and Mike. Mike, can I have your video. Mike, open mo yung video mo para makita ka ng madlang people. Yon! Gwapo naman. Bukas mo na,
Medyo.
Mike.
Nawawala.
Yeah. Alright, so I'd like to introduce to you one by one. Sila isa-isa muna para guys, 2 sentences. Introduce yourself to our YouTube family, our 1 Point fam. Introduce yourselves. We have, of course, Armin. Armin,
Hello,
introduce yourself.
I'm Armin. I've been a part of this life group, I think, since about. I'm not sure when I really joined. I think it's been about like 4 or 5 years since I've been here, and yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully we can share just all the lessons and all the stuff we talk about during the group.
Yeah. Yan, si Armin. And of course, we have Clark. Clark.
Hey, yeah, so I'm Clark, and yeah, just I've been here in this live group. I mean, I think from the start, and I've known Kuya Arnold for a while, so I'm happy to be here and contribute to his video. And I can see, Kuya Arnold, you have a shiny cactus at your back, but I'm gonna follow your lead, and because I have a cactus of my own.
The actual cactus, huh? Actual cactus. All right, so that's good. That's good. Of course, si Clark, yun. And then, of course, nandito naman si Mike. Ang tawag namin sa kanya ay Mike Pogi. Ayan, si Mike Pogi, di ba, Mike? Say hi naman sa ating 1 Point fam.
Ano ba, English o Tagalog? Tagalog na lang.
Tagalog. Okay lang, Mike, Tagalog. Walang
Hindi,
problema
joke lang
yan.
po ako. Ako po si Mike. Part po ako ng live group ng Ironman. Mga 5 years na siguro. Pero sa Live City, more than 10 years. 7 years. 7 years na po ako. Aray, sorry wala po akong ano. Ayun, medyo nilagay ko lang po sa karton yung cellphone Kaya ayun
That's good.
masaya po ako na napasama ako dito. Ako. May bendisyon ba tayo nito pagkatapos, kuya?
Meron. Alright, so what we're going to be doing, hindi ito yung parang full life group episode because we're going to, guys, I'm telling you now, we're going to do this Wednesday again, this coming Wednesday. Alright, pero for a longer version of our live group, for an hour, we're going to talk about a particular topic. So next sa Wednesday po yung ating live broadcast again with our live group. Pero for now, I'm going to be asking some of you, all of you, of course, sa ating pinag-aralan natin last week kasi, maraming nagme-message si daw. Maraming boto kay Mike Ang gwapo naman ni Mike daw, sabi ni Tebong.
May premyo po ako, mangga.
Alright, so what we talked about last week. What we talked about last week is being discouraged. We talked about several reasons why people are discouraged. And maybe for some of you who are watching us today, or for those of you, the 3 guys that I'm with today, we experienced being discouraged in the past. Yung nawalan ka ng lakas ng loob, parang gano'n ang nangyayari sa'yo. So, pag-usapan natin tong mga bagay na to kasi dito kasi sa pinag-aralan natin last week, I mentioned 4 particular causes or reason for being discouraged. Number 1, sometimes you're discouraged because you are fatigued. You are tired. Katulad kanina na pinag-usapan natin. You might just be physically tired. And that's the reason why you are discouraged. Some of you are maybe you are experiencing some frustrations in life and that's why you are experiencing discouragement. Some of you are experiencing several failures, setbacks in life. So you are discouraged because of that. And lastly, you have some fears. That's the reason why you probably are discouraged today. So I'd like to request, I'd like to ask my boys, my guys here at from our Iron Man Life Group. Dito sa apat na to, kasi apat tong sinabi natin dito, failure or fatigue, frustrations, failures, and fears. What among these four items or reasons why you get frustrated, you get discouraged, no? Which among these four have you are the normal typical cause of your discouragement? Ikaw muna, Clark. What do you normally experience?
I think out of the four, it would be fear. So because when bad things happen, I tend to handle it pretty well. Keep my emotions in check, use my head, compose myself. But when it's quiet or when I know something's about to happen, I start to overthink. When I'm faced with the unknown, my mind starts to explore all kinds of scenarios. Sometimes it's the worst case scenarios that I imagine. And then when that happens, for me, the nervousness kicks in, the worry kicks in. And when I'm discouraged, that feeling gets amplified. And I start to think, "Oh, what now? What do I do now?" And for me, that sometimes could lead to inaction. And, that could be worse than not trying at all. And the same feeling also happens when I fail at something. It's so natural to feel discouraged when I fail. So, yeah, to me, it's the fear of the unknown or the fear of what could happen. That's what gets me when I'm discouraged, and I could find myself at the hole that I have to climb out of and try again.
Just recently, Clark, have you experienced some, failures and fears that led you to be discouraged? Can you think of a particular example? It can be a general, you can mention a general event, general happening, anything that you feel like sharing.
The most recent, I think, it's a fear for someone else. It's like I'm afraid that this person something bad might happen because I care about them. And one of the most recent would be my girlfriend Mitch. Her dad passed away recently, and I was actually there with her in video calls throughout the process. Getting updates alongside her, what's happening, and I think during those times it's it's the boyfriend duty to my duty gets doubled. When she's going through bad stuff, double duty.
Yeah.
And so it was always I always try to be positive. I always try to I'm sure everything will be okay. I'm sure that he'll only get better, and that's not what happened. So I mean, I got a little discouraged. That I was always praying for her, and I was always cheering her up. And then when a few days ago when he passed away, I had to triple my duty, since her dad passed away. So it's a fear that's for someone else. My fear got realized when my loved one's family passed away.
Yeah, and that's true, that's true. Ikaw naman, Mike, anong experience mo in the past? Yung sa apat na yun, ano yung normally na-experience mo yung pagka nadi-discourage ka? Fatigue, pagka tired ka, frustrations, failures, or fear? Anong normally na-experience mo?
Ay,
Sorry, Mike, nakamute ka pala, sorry. Go.
ito po yung latest, yung latest na ano?
Yeah.
Ito nakaraan medyo medyo natatakot po ako sa unang-una na syempre dahil po sa sitwasyon na meron tayo ngayon, so normal talaga na natatakot tayo. Pero yun, na-experience ko na paano kaya to kasi hindi naman po tayo established sa career natin, sa iba pang bagay like financial. So hindi tayo stable sa bagay na yan. So yun na, medyo natatakot ako sa mga sa sa mga mangyayari. Pero I pray to God na bigyan niya ako ng lakas, ng strength na ma-overcome ko yung mga fear na yan. Kasi hindi lang naman ako siguro nakaka-experience niyan. Marami, lalo sa panahon na to. Kung i-connect natin yung mga nangyayari. Ayun, talagang minsan natatakot ka. Talagang na-experience ko mostly talaga ngayon yung malalim na takot kasi dahil nga sa hindi naman ako established sa career, hindi ako established sa financial. So hindi naman tayo robot na lahat kaya nating gawin.
Yeah. So, malakas ba ka discourage yung kapag uncertainty ang tawag natin diyan eh. Pag hindi tayo certain sa isang bagay. Lakas ba ka discourage nun? Parang pakiramdam mo nanghihina kapag ganun. Totoo yun, na-experience ko rin naman yun kapag talaga hindi ka sigurado sa isang bagay, may takot ka, lalo ka pang nadi-discourage. Yun ang nangyayari. Yun talaga.
Opo.
Na-experience ko. Salamat, Mike. Doon sa ating mga nanonood ngayon, you can join us up, mag-type lang kayo. Ano bang nakaka-discourage sa inyo? Pag na-discourage kayo, is that fatigue? Type ko para sa kanila.
Ayun.
Yan. Yan. Okay. So, yeah, mag-share kayo mag-share kayo ng sagot nyo para makashare din naman kayo sa aming discussion. Makasama kayo sa aming discussion. Si Armin, ikaw, what normally causes you to be discouraged? Is it fatigue, frustrations, failures, or fear?
Usually, it's a mix between fatigue and frustration. Normally, I like to approach things analytically. I like to, study the next things to do, the best move in any given situation. But there have been times, specifically in my walk, where I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing and it doesn't make sense. But for whatever reason, I have to keep doing it. Like one of the situations before was kind of last year when I was applying looking for a new job after I quit my last job, and I was applying for different positions. I was sending out my CV every day. I must have sent like over 100 applications online, and for whatever reason, to me, it didn't seem like it was working. And I wanted to do something else. Like I wanted to ask my friends. I wanted to, just ask one of my contacts, just do that. But for whatever reason, it was strongly impressed upon me to just keep doing that. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep sending out the CVs. And I didn't understand why, but I just did it. And what ended up happening was that I had a job offered to me. Like I didn't apply for it or I didn't ask anyone, but a job was offered to me out of the blue. And at that time, I recognized that I was frustrated with it because I didn't see the point. And I was getting fatigued because I needed to keep doing that for whatever reason. I don't know why. but I needed to keep doing that thing. And more than failures in the past, or more than fears of what's happening or the future or anything like that, uh, I need to see some sort of hope in the situation, like light at the end of the tunnel. Like what I'm doing is working, what I'm doing is right. But when I don't have that, when I'm not sure, when I'm just kind of doing things by faith, where I don't see any of the fruit. Uh, I guess when that's happening is what would easily discourage me, just because the human side, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if this thing is effective. You don't know if it's working.
Yeah.
Uh, that that seems to me what I find gets me.
Totoo yan. It's really hard to look beyond what is in front of us, and when we don't see what's beyond us, that makes us discouraged. And it's true. It's true. But the thing is, as we talked about last week sa church, we know that when we place our trust in God, when we find our why, no? Or we go back to our why, our purpose, we'll be able to understand that God is all along with us throughout the whole process. Katulad ng binanggit ni Armin kanina, actually merong hand ni God all throughout the process. So, kayo, nabanggit ko kasi during the message last week na one of the best way for us to handle our discouragement is to look back, remember what God has done for you in the past. So, try natin gawin yan para ma-encourage tayo, no? Madali yan kasing gawin dahil nangyari na yan. Mahirap gawin yung we hope for the future, although we are encouraged to do that. Pero mas madaling gawin yung when you look back at in the past and say that God has been so good to you in the past. Pagka ganun ang nakita natin, we'll be able to enjoy God's guidance all throughout the process. Nawala si Mike, pero we'll probably see Mike later on. No? Armin, ikaw muna. Unahin ko si Armin. Armin, what is that thing that you almost always, yung palagi mo, ito yung gusto mong gawin palagi when you are discouraged. You always go back. You always remember that part of your life where you saw God worked in your life. What particular instance in your life na yun ang go-to place mo palagi, na kapag ka nadi-discourage ka, you always go back to that in that time in your life, and you remember that God has been good to you in the past, and that we have by faith have hope that He will still continue to be good to us in the future. Ano yung go-to life time in your life sa mga bagay na ganito?
For me, my sister and I refer to this period in our life that we call kind of the Salcedo period. We were in Makati at the time, and I guess we moved into this place as new Christians, and it was she felt strongly that God was pointing to this place, like for us to go here and live here. But at that time, I looked at it analytically because I didn't receive any sort of word or prompting for this move. But she felt very strongly about it, and we decided to do it. And during the Salcedo period, we basically put all of our funds into moving, getting the down payment. We didn't really have any funds or savings or any income at the time to even buy groceries or pay for the next electric bill or anything like that. Uh, but what ended up happening was kind of small miracle after small miracle. All these things just started happening where it worked out, and kind of the science person in me, the the one that wanted to look at all of the numbers, and I just
The
saw how
probability, huh?
yeah, like I just saw in my life, like if I was going to write all of these things down, it looks impossible. Like I would need to have so many things happen at the right time that I knew it was impossible. And God kind of took care of everything during that time in ways that I cannot explain and I could not recreate. Like I can't do this. Uh, and it was one of those, I guess, the pillars in my life where I would kind of come back to. And whenever I have some sort of issue, like, will God take care of this? Is God concerned about this, or is God concerned about that? I just kind of remember that God took care of everything, like down to the last detail during that time, every single thing, when basically it was impossible for us to stay there for a month. We ended up staying there for I think like several, I think 4 or 5 years also. And just kind of that whole thing of when we first moved in, how are we going to take care of the Meralco? Like, how are we going to take care of next month? Like, at the time I was still going to school. Like, how am I going to take care of school? And just kind of everything worked out in ways that I can't explain. And that kind of time in my life, it's one of the things where you go back to, and I can trust God with this current problem,
Mhm.
and problems in the future, because he proved himself like absolutely trustworthy already in the past.
Yeah. Ang ganda nung kapag if you have a go-to story in your life. Kasi ako nung nagkaroon ng, so I have a small company and then nagkaroon uh, ng American financial crisis. Majority of my clients back then, nung 2008, 2009, majority of my clients back then was in the US. And there was a financial crisis and we were down to very few, thousands of pesos. And then I trusted God. Sabi ko, God, this is yours anyway. This is not mine. You take care of my family. Take care of this, um, this source of income. And it's not in any way a challenge to God, definitely, but it's definitely a way to show that I trust God with everything that I want to happen in life. And you know, I saw how God used those challenges in my life to prepare me for other things, to continue to bless me, not just financially, but also spiritually and relationally within my family. I saw God's hand during those crises. That's my go-to story right every single time. Ikaw, Clark, anong go-to story mo in your life when you're confronted with discouragements? How do you remember God and during those times of your discouragement?
Yeah. So I don't really have a go-to story, but I will talk. I will give one example when I felt pretty discouraged, and it happened over a year ago. And so a year ago, before the pandemic, I was I was applying for internships and I don't know. I only applied to one company. I only applied to Accenture, and I know something in me felt confident about that. So I only applied to Accenture, that one company, and it was actually a pretty quick process. I was already getting. They already sent me to get my medical. They already sent me to get my recommendation letters and all that. Then the pandemic hit. And then I got the text, I got the email that said all intern related activities will be postponed till further notice. And time was only going forward. Time was only going forward, and I only applied at one company. So I mean, I don't. What's my other option? The only other option was to intern at school, intern at the school I go to, and there's no intern pay. You just do hours, do what they say, and then you don't get paid. So I was like, oh, tragedy. And I was really prepared. I was already doing the documentation to start my internship in my school in Mapua. And I said like, all right, just to get through this, just to finish internship, and I'll do it at school, no pay. I was doing the documentation, submitting it all, and then I think it was June. I think it was no, I think it was April last year that Accenture finally reached out to me that they're resuming internships, and they wanted to push through with my application. So I ended up doing internship at the company at that I wanted with with the pay. And it's just one of those things that in every struggle that I've experienced in the past, I always have to remember that it was temporary. There was an end point to all the struggles that I went through. And after the struggle, after the hardship, the good, the positive, all those things feel so much better. It's like when you're super hungry and then you finally get to eat, or you're super tired and you finally get to sit down and rest. I think struggles make the good things in life feel worth it. And
Yeah.
looking back, hindsight is 2020. So looking back at the struggles, I always can see, because when I'm in the struggle, it's so easy to get tunnel vision. It's so easy to get focused on the problem at hand. But when I look back, when I start to look back at everything that's happened, I can see God was working in my times of struggle. I could see Him carrying me through, creating opportunities, and pushing me when I wanted to give up. So, in hindsight, God was there for me. So when I'm discouraged, I always need to remember that all the times I was discouraged in the past, and how God was there to get me through, and how God is here with me today in the struggles I'm facing. Yeah, so
Yep. Totoo yan. Totoo yan. It's nice to always remember that God has been so good to us in the past. It's just a matter of opening up our eyes. In fact, it is good. It's a good practice that we can all adopt. If we can get a journal, and if you feel like, if you think that God is telling you something today, and you know that you saw God's blessings, God's hand that work in your current situation, you can write it down. You can let yourself be able to remember that situation, so that when the time comes, you can always go back. You can always remember how God has been so good to you in the past, that even if you are discouraged today, you would still know that God is powerful, and He can always work in our life, not just today, but also for our future. Yep. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. For those of you who are watching us right now, we also have we're going to have a regular every once a month. Siguro ano ba tayo? Second Wednesday? No, that's going to be a third Wednesday. This coming Wednesday is the third Wednesday of the month. Correct? Tama ba yan? We're going to have every third Wednesday of the month. I'm going to bring in my good looking guys to join us, and we are going to be hearing from them more. This is just an example of what might happen during by the way, hindi kami kompleto eh. Wala si Mike na disconnect pa si Mike. Si Carlos can join us, but also wala siya ngayon. But this coming Wednesday, he might be here. So Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, if you're also free, you can join us on for our discussion. Sabi ni Tebong, when you are seriously sick plus you are surrounded by pandemic, it's very discouraging because fear embracing my heart, but I always think that that if God is with me, who is against me? Pumasok na si Mike eh. Ipasok na natin si Mike ha.
Oh.
Mike,
Sorry.
yun. Na-disconnect si Mike. Mike, last question natin. Few words lang.
Apo.
Ano yung palagi mong binabalikan na istorya ng buhay mo? Kapag nakita mo discouraged ka ngayon and then you go back to that story in your life, you'll say, ang bait-bait talaga ni Diyos, mabuti ang Panginoon Diyos sa akin, kaya ngayon din, alam ko, He will still be good to me. Ano yung story na yun in the past? Share mo lang sa amin a few words. We're going to end in a few minutes. Share mo sa amin yung story mo na yun.
Kasi minsan kuya, ito opportunity pagka namagot. Ano yung opportunity na ma-realize natin yung mga ginawa ni Lord sa atin na dapat yun nga yung kabutihan na ginawa. Siguro yung naging Kristiyano ako. Yung unang-una na nakilala ko siya. Yun yung binabalikan ko kasi kung titingnan mo talaga maraming failure medyo tumigas yung failure pala yung failure. Maraming failure sa marami kang disappointment, marami kang failures yun na encounter sa buhay. Pero ako ang binabalikan ko lagi yung love ni Lord na nadama ko una ko siyang nakilala. Una ko siya talaga nakilala kasi kung babalikan mo talaga yung nakaraan mo talagang makikita mo yung yung pag-ibig ng Diyos na hindi ka naman deserving doon pero tinanggap ka niya. Tinanggap ka niya. So, yung ko yung tsaka yung mga mabubuting bagay na ginawa natin kasi maraming pagsubok na napagtagumpayan So, yun yung tinitingnan ko yung mga ginawa niyang yung mga na-overcome kong pagsubok.
Ang ganda nun, alam niyo, ang mahirap pagka nakakaroon tayo ng mga pagsubok sa buhay. Ang ganda nung sinabi ni Mike kasi ang ginagawa niya when he has some problems in life, he almost always go back to that story, that time in his life na nung binigay niya yung buhay niya kay Kristo. Ang ganda nun. Kasi parang yun ang ultimate talaga na kagandahan ng marirealize natin di ba? Pagka nung time na talagang ibinigay natin ang buong buhay natin kay Kristo, yun yung time na masasabi natin na everything has been closed. The deal has been closed. It's Christ has won. So yung maliliit na mga bagay na pinagdadaanan natin sa buhay, maliit na lang yan kumpara sa problema natin, our sin problem that has been solved when Jesus Christ died on the cross and when we receive that offer of salvation from God. Ang ganda nun, sinabi ni Mike. Guys, again, maraming salamat and next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, we're going to go back maybe with Carlos and siguro si Roddy, kung sino pa yung pwedeng sumama sa atin. We're going to live stream again. Kwentuhan lang, we're going to have a chat discussion next week again. Alright, so thank you guys for joining me balik tayo on Wednesday. Alright? Ayun! Maraming salamat sa pagsama niyo po sa amin ngayon. Yung mga latecomer yung mga nanay ko, latecomer, salamat daw. Kay Ate Ruth at nagsusupport sa akin. Thank you. And then of course my brother, si Gerald is here. Sino si Gucci Jeng TV? Limutan ko na naman to Anyway, sige, thank you for being here today. My mom is also here today. So thank you. Next Saturday, join us again for another episode of 1 Point Live, 1 Point Saturday night, 1 Point Saturday night. And we are going to learn learn more things about our faith. We're going to understand. We're going to receive hope, and we're going to understand God's love some more. Thank you guys for being with me today, and I hope that you will you will share this video. You can also invite some of your friends every Saturday so that we could learn more about God regularly here at 1 Point. All right. See you again next week. Hey, you made it through the end of the live stream. Thank you for joining me tonight. My hope is that our session this evening has become a blessing to you. And I normally do live streams every Saturday at 7 o'clock in the evening. So I'd like to invite you again for another live stream next week, Saturday at 7 o'clock. Invite your friends, share the link, and see you again next week. Till then,